Fabulous, fantastic entrepreneur, and I love your work. And welcome on my podcast, Magic of Business. We're gonna talk about. My name is Maggie. We're gonna talk about CEO life. Today I'm with Fabulous. Fantastic entrepreneur, and I love your work, and successful business owner, judge, and a multi-award winning wax specialist, I will say. Yeah. Tell me more about your journey. How did you start? And
so I never, and this might be a bit controversial, I never had dreams of being in the beauty industry like a lot of beauty professionals did. I was in healthcare. I actually worked for the local hospice and in palliative end of life care, and I thought that was it. That was my future. I really loved what I did, and I was going to go and do my nurse training, and that was me, and I loved what I did. Then I had my third child, and things. I mean, we're getting straight into it now, and you are. So, and my mental health wasn't great after I had him, and I wasn't doing too well on maternity leave, like mentally, and he was quite challenging as a baby. He was very unsettled, and I needed something for me. And I'd always had waxing myself, and as someone that was very like self-conscious and embarrassed, like body dysmorphia and things like that, I really felt like I would make people comfortable with my experience from looking after people and that compassion from working at the hospice. And I was like, do you know what, I'm just gonna go and train in that. And it sort of came from nowhere, just out of the blue. And so that's what I did. I sought after the best educator at the time, went and did the course, and it was, in for a penny, in for a pound, just straight in there, and you're waxing each other, bearing everything. And as someone that was very self-conscious, I thought, well, I can't do anything I'm not going to expect my clients not to do. But obviously I had a room full of students. And then I trained, and then failure wasn't an option. I just was like, this has to work. And I just put my mind to it, started the social media, started it with no idea really.
Amazing.
And I just feel, it just sort of went from there, to be honest.
Amazing. Yeah, well done to you.
Oh, there wasn't.
Then how many years in the line now?
So it's 6 years now since when I started. It was at the end of 2019 that I started out, and then obviously we had the lockdown in the March, and I returned back to the hospice while I was starting my business, and it was like, open, close, trying to build the business, still looking after patients in the community during lockdown, because people still needed healthcare. And it all just got, with 3 children at the time, I've got 4 now, but it all got a bit much, and it broke my heart to leave the hospice, but it didn't make sense anymore with like the waxing building. Even though lockdown on and off, I was getting clients, repeat clients, and I was juggling, and I was like, I need to put everything into the waxing now. It's gone better than I could have dreamed. And so that's what I did, and I left the hospice with like a heavy heart, but it was definitely the right time.
That must be such a hard work anyways, in the hospice.
I mean, it was, and people say, oh, you must talk a lot.
Touching.
People with autism might not like that. Not everybody, but you're not going to be for everybody, and so you want to get it right. And for those of people that find social situations difficult, to make them feel comfortable is super important to me. So that really touched me, that I was able to be inclusive for her, that she was happy to come, she was okay with the appointment. I mean, obviously we were ripping her hair out, but she coped well, and she rebooked, and she's left me like probably my favourite review that I've ever had. So it's so I think that's really important. That's why I wanted to speak about it, because I think it's something that we easily forget when we're busy, and sometimes they might not want to share, but if they do share, and just having that awareness of, oh, did you want me to turn the music down a little bit, something as simple as that could really be helpful.
You basically totally understand the problem. That's why you're super busy.
Yeah.
especially, because you really listen, and that's very important in a business, I believe. And obviously, talking to important clients, every client is important for us, and we want to make them really special, I believe. Then that's how the business grow. Can you tell me more about, for obviously we all moms, we all, super busy lifestyle. I've got my two as well, and I've got 100.
I don't know how you do it, and everyone says that to you.
I know, but obviously you've got four as well, and you're super busy, and you're doing awards, and you're fully booked.
I know.
Constantly. Then tell me more, and obviously your children with some sort of disability. Can you tell me more about this? How you, how you dealing with your life, with CEO life?
I'm not. No, I'm falling apart. I'm like a swan. I'm underneath. So I've got the four. I've got two older children and two younger children, and they're all completely different with their needs, and it affects them all differently. And I wouldn't change them for the world. I'm at that point now. My son was diagnosed when he was 2, and he's now 15. And it's been a journey, but I wouldn't change him at all. And he's, all of them. But so I've been doing this for 13 years, the special needs journey, if you like. And that's another reason why I left the hospice, because, to be able to work around my children and their needs and work for myself is super important. I don't have to go to work every day. I can whack someone in 15 minutes. I can see up to 20 clients or more in a day. I can ram people in because I've perfected the skill now. And so I can run my business efficiently with the time I have. I don't like gaps in my day. So I'm very fortunate that rarely do I have a gap. And if I do, then I will try and prioritise emails. I mean, I don't always, but I just think that being able to choose your own hours, and you don't have to be 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. If your kids are sick or whatever else, and you've built that relationship with your clients, they understand. Doesn't happen often. And also having a support network is huge. If you have a partner, or if your parents or friends, it helps. Obviously, recently my son was out of education for a year. He's only just started at his new school, so that was really testing time for my business.
Must be tough,
because I was going through doing my teacher's training, I was looking at a new premises, I was doing all these things, and then I had no one to look after my son because he was out of education. So I had to juggle it all with friends, family, partner, all pitching in. And it was really challenging, but he was the priority. But I still was able to work around it, but albeit hard. But you just do. If I was in a 9 to 5, I would have lost my job. So I think there's definitely benefits to running your own business and juggling. And if you're a bit chaotic, like I am, you just get on with it. Like the chaos, you just run with it. I mean, that.
No,
and being busy and you haven't got time to worry about how you're going to manage.
How you kind of planning your business plan and like daily planning? Did you do this like night before? You planning day and
I'm terrible. So like,
you're not terrible. Super successful. Then you must do something, right?
I definitely do leave things to the last minute. And like I say, I think having things in place, like a really good booking system, I think that makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
Because in the early days, I liked to do the old school paper diary, and that was for control, so that I wouldn't have gaps and I could dictate and be, And then as I became more busy and fully booked, I didn't have to worry. People would book, and so I could be with a client. Someone might cancel for a few days' time, and someone else might rebook that appointment, all whilst I'm with a client. So it's saving me time. So that's money well spent on a decent booking system. For sure, that is changing. And like my booking system has like cancellation lists, so there's automatic texts that go out if a cancellation comes up. So things like that are super, super helpful. But I'm not the most organised. I mean, my treatment space is organised. But yeah, I sometimes I'll be like, oh, starting at that time tomorrow. Oh, I need someone to pick up. Oh, so my personal life doesn't match my organisation at work, shall we say. So it does, we've got to keep a little bit of chaos, haven't we? So yeah.
You just said about the training qualification.
Oh yeah.
How is that going?
So
you're planning to training for
yeah,
this?
absolutely. I think that waxing stories, everyone knows someone that's had an awful waxing experience. I hear it all the time when new clients come. Well, exactly.
And I never have waxed ever again.
Exactly. And I have women that come to me that, and I ask on the consult form, have you ever had waxing before? And then I ask, have you had a negative experience? So that knowledge when they come in also helps me on how I manage them, because they could be coming really fearful because 5-10 years ago they had an awful experience, and I always say thank you for trusting me and trying again, because a lot of people don't, or they might leave it years and years, or they might be self-conscious and not come until much later on in life. And whilst I started young having my own waxing, I still wish I'd started sooner because I just love it so much. But yeah, I think that I want to rid the horror stories, because there's no need. It's so unnecessary. Like, I mean, if I was to do a set of nails, I'd be awful. So if you've got a beautician who is so passionate about nails but works in a salon where they're expected and can be booked in for anything, that lady, that professional who's a real talent in nails, for example, has maybe 1-2 Hollywoods a week. You know, to get good at it, like anything, you have to do it a lot. And like I said, I wouldn't be able to do someone's nails, like, and I haven't got the hand for it. I just wouldn't, and I don't enjoy it. So people that are wax specialists in your area, I would always look for them. And so making sure they have good training is super important to me, because you know, the stories, like I say, like even that I hear, it actually upsets me. Like, even if I'm busy and they have booked elsewhere for a holiday and then they come back to me and they tell me how awful it was, people think, oh, but you got, I'm like, oh no, because it's, no one should, that vulnerable area being trusted. And also for the poor practitioner that's doing it, they might not feel confident. So I really want to do good training to help people for confidence and for expertise, because it can be very profitable. And if you're an expert in your field, people will come to you from all over.
But obviously you specialize in a intimate area, but do you gonna be training also, I don't know, like waxing underarm and...
Definitely, because I think to be able to do the intimate, you need to have a good hand on all the other body waxing, the basic skills first of all. And also, if you're running a business, you want to increase your profit margin. So for me personally, I don't take any bookings for just body areas unless they have an intimate wax booked. So underarm, they can't just book in, because there's so many other places they could go for just an underarm. They might be having laser on the intimate area, they might shave, they might not want to wax, whatever the reason, they might just want their underarm. So they wouldn't be the client for me, I wouldn't be the person for them. But if they are booking for an intimate wax and they want to add on an underarm, you need to have the skills to be able to do both, because whilst you're doing the intimate, you can do the underarm, and then you're making a profitable business in the time you've got. So that's how I run it. But not every waxing specialist might, you know, have legs, then a Hollywood, then underarm, then eyebrows, I don't do eyebrows. I think that is another skill in itself. I think, oh my goodness me, I have not got the steady hand for eyebrows. People ask me, oh, can you do my... No, I'm not doing your face. I'll leave the face to the real experts. I'm not touching anyone's face.
Wow.
Oh, well, I will do their upper lip. I'll do their beard and their upper lip, but no, not eyebrows. Eyebrows are too important.
Oh, that's surprising, because obviously that's so, you know, lots of people do eyebrows are waxing.
I think in the future, like when I expand and, you know, look at new premises and things like that, I would have someone dedicated specialising in brows, because it is an in-demand service for sure. but I just know I wouldn't enjoy it either.
Okay, then what's the future? What's the future? What's the
Oh
vision?
my goodness, yes. So I mean, obviously, to support people with their knowledge and confidence with training, absolutely, to make sure that good training, I offer that, because good training is not always easy to find. And then just the right time. And like I say, I've had a difficult year with my son being out of education, and that's been the priority, which sometimes Rome wasn't built in a day. Sometimes, so this year I've been judging awards. That's been the focus, going to attend awards as a judge and putting time into that because it's super important. And looking after my children and just managing all the wonderful clients that I've got. But next year, obviously, I would like to go bigger. And lots of exciting things that I'm thinking about doing with like branded stuff, working with brands, products, things like that. So there's so many options when you run a business, as you know. There's so many options, and when you're like, which ones are sometimes you've got to pause.
The like first goal?
Well, I think there's
teaching on your own products or
well, I think they come hand in hand. So like if you're teaching, having your own range is huge. And so there's a few different options where I can go with that. Maybe I can talk to you after and you can give me your advice on that, because you're the expert with that. Obviously you've got products and your training and everything else. So, I'm very lucky to have you as a friend, because you could tell me you give me your secrets. But I think that finishing the teaching qualification, getting that into practice, and then really looking at the type of brands that I really want to work with. I already work with a really good aftercare brand, which is great for my clients, and it really makes a difference with results. Like, you've good products, it's half the work of what you do as a service for waxing. And then premises, looking at for the right premises, manifesting for the right one to come up.
Then what's the location?
So I'm in Chelmsford in Essex, and I would very much like to stay there because there's so much of my life there, and with the kids and convenience, and parking for me is a big thing. So trying to find something, and I don't want to rush into the wrong place, but I know that when the time is right.
Would you ever consider franchising?
So that's another thing that I have looked at, and that would go hand in hand with like products and things like that, because there's a big thing at the moment where, like I was saying earlier, where people go to specialists. A lot of people, when they have bad waxing experiences, it, like I say, might be someone that might be best at nails or whatever in like a board salon. And so working with salons, and I've had a few calls with some salons that have asked for advice. And because there's someone there that's quite keen, but they're so busy doing this or doing that, and how to get clients to trust someone that's always there doing nails, and so how they market. So that's been something that I've been looking at, like going into salons and supporting them, because salons, there's still a big market for salons that cover a lot of different services. And so if they can have their own specialist, even if they are great at nails, but they do dedicate their training time, and they dedicate maybe 1-2 days a week doing that, so they can get the confidence and the practice. That's something I've been looking at as well. So loads to come, hopefully. But I've got to remember that I've got to walk before I run.
What will be your advice for like new people in industry, starting basically? What will be your best advice?
So I think when you're new and you're starting out, it's finding your place and your passion, and just showing that on all your socials, for one. Secondly, I think as time goes on and you start getting the clients and things like that, you might not be fully booked yet, and that's normal. You assume everyone's fully booked. They're not straight away. It takes time. I think we've always got something to learn from others. So welcoming advice from other people is huge, and people that have done it. So a mentor, a coach, someone, and obviously looking for someone that's reputable, that's done it, that has evidence of success. I mean, like yourself. I mean, I know that you've got the academy here, and you know, someone that's got a lived experience. You can't put a price on investing in a mentor who, people that go into mentorship, you can tell when they do it because they're passionate about having good quality standards in the industry. And I think you'll never go wrong, and you have to be open to learning. You never know it all, ever. Even when you get to the top, like, there's always someone that's done more that can give you advice. So I think when you have got your business running and you have a little bit of money behind you, investing in knowledge, education for sure, because one course is never going to be enough. You want to have refreshers, you want to be looking at different techniques, you want to be consistently learning from a good educator and mentor, and for your mental health as well. Like, I've invested in a personal mentor for the last 6 months to manage the difficult year that I've had, and I felt that mentorship was important. And then now I'm going to be ready to go on to the next step for my growth and my business growth. Now I've worked on me, and that was a mentor, you know. And I just think that's a super important part of, you know, developing. Yeah, I mean, we can't sit there and think that things are going to just come to us. We have to go out there, and we have to, you know, find someone we connect with who can share the knowledge with us. Because why are you going to wait years and years and years to learn through bad experiences or big mistakes that can cost you a lot in your business? It can cost you your reputation, it can cost you, you know, your finances, it can if you make an error. And so it's really important, I think, to skip all that and find someone that can talk from experiences such as mistakes and stuff, you know.
You can fast forward to your future.
Exactly. I mean, you're always going to make your own mistakes, and you learn from them. But if you can have that guidance from someone, I think that's always going to be worth investing. But just obviously make sure they're reputable and that they have like reviews, and that you connect with them, and you can see the evidence of their work,
absolutely.
you
know, on my last 10-15 years, I was coached as well by well bigger people, and that's why where I am, because it's obviously faster way to gain the goals.
We're not going to sit here and be like, oh, I did it all myself. Like, we have to be humble enough to know that we're always got something to learn from each other, always.
Absolutely. Anyways, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's been so nice.
Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, you are the legend now. You are the hero. You are the hero.
No,
I wish you all the best with your courses, with your expanding businesses, with your shops, and hopefully you're gonna have 100 franchises around the UK.
One day,
and your own brand of the waxing and aftercare. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you.